Feeling lost in this paradise. Fucking all these bitches raw just to roll the dice. 21. That's New Game. Well, you haven't seen season 1 of New Game.
No.
So we'd have to watch 2 whole seasons of it. You want to save that one for later?
Yeah.
Alright, let's try something that you don't have to watch 2 whole shows for. We already did 17, god damn it. You motherfucker. 8 is Nyanko Days. I don't even know what that is.
Me neither.
Let's find out. Hey, we watched Nyanko Days
yo.
and then forgot to record a thing about it. It must have been like 2 nights ago, right?
It was 2 nights ago.
And we watched the whole thing at once because it's only 2-minute episodes and there was only 12 of them. So it's basically like watching one episode of anime.
Yeah.
And it was the weirdest combination of a show that we had no expectations for and then had high expectations that weren't met, I would say.
Definitely.
How would you describe your experience watching Nyanko Days?
Going into it, I was like, there's just gonna be some weird cat shit. We saw it. There was adorable weird cat shit. I was into it. 3 episodes in, I didn't care about her classmates who didn't have cats.
Yeah. So that's the thing. This show is about a girl and her 3 cats, which are just referred to as cats, and as far as we can tell, all cats in the world are this.
All cats in this universe are like little.
They're just little girls.
Girls.
They're just these super tiny little adorable cat girls who kind of act like cats, but then also
they do
are
people
conscious.
Things. Yeah. So like they're drawing pictures with crayons.
Are they just always like? Will they just be like that their whole lives? Like they don't grow up. They don't stop being babies.
All retarded
right?
people are just cats.
It's a strange like character. Strange whatever they are.
A lot of questions that we will never get answers to.
There's a porn version of this.
Good.
Called not literally, but what the fuck is it called? It's like one of the only fucking visual novels I've actually played. Wanko to Kuraso, where dogs are like just girls, but they have some personality of a human, but then they're also referred to as dogs. It's similar to that, but not pornographic. And the characters remind me a lot of Hanamaru Kindergarten. But anyways, they're fucking adorable. They're a joy to watch. And the episodes that are just about the cats are great.
Pretty good, yes.
But then the cat's owner, there's also like a whole plot about her. She doesn't really have any friends. She's a crazy cat lady, literally.
High school.
She just likes her cats. She doesn't like other people. But the most popular girl in her class wants to be friends with her because they both like cats.
Yeah. Her kitty is really ugly.
Yeah, her kitty is not nearly as adorable as theirs. But it does have a fun personality, and like it seems to me like the obvious way that this should have gone is that they start hanging out together with their cats, and we watch their cats interact while they in the background become friends. Instead, what happens is we get like whole episodes of just these 2 girls bonding that is completely uninteresting. Because it's a show with 2-minute episodes. These characters don't get developed.
No.
They're not like memorable at all. They're just like generic high school girl
template
characters. So like watching entire episodes of them sitting in a cafe being like, oh, I gotta say the right thing so she'll be my friend. I'm like, what? No! Give me the cats! Give me the fun cats! And the show is really like a 50-50 split between them. Like, there was a shocking lack of cats in the show about the cats.
Yeah.
You know? So, ultimately I would give it like a 5 out of 10, I think. I think I would have given it a 6 or even a 7 if it had been just the cats. But it's, it's a whole... It's tied up. I shouldn't be bored in a 20-minute show.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember a lot of what happened in the show.
No, it's only been 2 nights, but... I mean, I can't remember anything that happened in Take Q, but I remember I had a fun time.
Yeah.
We watched she was with me when I watched Take Q.
I think the show deserves a 4. I don't think you can give the show a 5. The scenes with just the 2 high school girls, they're not...
I don't
Like,
I
I
don't
think
dislike the show.
I don't dislike it either, but I don't think it's worthy.
I can't
of,
give lower than a 5 to a show I
don't
didn't
know.
dislike.
I don't know. I think I would have to rewatch it. And then
The cat scenes were really fun and cute though.
they
like,
were great.
when it had cat
Episode 1
scenes-
was fantastic. I had seen like clips of it from Reddit, and I was like, shit.
I wouldn't say that anything about the two girl scenes like offended me or anything. Like, it wasn't like insulting. It was just not interesting.
No, it was
like, it's not that it was badly done. It's just not the best idea.
Maybe gets like a 4.6 for me.
I'd give it a solid 5.5. Like, I almost like it. Like, if it's just cat episodes, like, those episodes are perfectly fine. I have no problem with those. They're perfectly fun and cool. It's just the other stuff that I was like, I don't care, you know? So, yeah. I mean, it's unmemorable as shit, but, like, had it all been cat episodes,
It would have been great.
I would have been willing to watch it again sometime if I just wanted a dose of cute cats, you know?
This is not your go-to for cute cat entertainment.
Oh, and that's the funny thing.
This is if you've run out of cute cat entertainment.
This show made me really want to watch the show Bottle Fairy, which I
you were telling me
you first saw in AMV Health 3, a clip of it, where it's a show about these little fairies who like live in this girl's room and they just like interact with her shit, essentially. Which the two best episodes of the Nyanko days are when it's just the 3 cats in her room trying to do human stuff and failing. And that's by far the funniest and cutest part. And that's like the whole concept of Bottle Fairy. So I kind of want to watch that show and see if it's a better version, you know? Because like, I could tell that with this show there was something I wanted in there and I wasn't quite getting it. And that was the problem. Anyway. We've talked you could have watched half the show in the time it took us to talk.
Don't do it.
Don't do that though, yeah. Okay, so May's been really busy lately and we haven't been able to knock out as many shows as we were. And we had landed on Sangatsu no Lion, but it's 22 episodes. And for the sake of making sure that this show has a consistent upload rate, we're just going to save the longer shows for later. And watch and motor through the ones that we don't think will actually survive. So, which ones do we not think like? Which ones have the least likelihood of like? We'll probably definitely watch all of Konosuba 2.
Yeah.
We'll probably watch all of Little Witch Academia. I don't know what One Room is.
One Room. Fuck. What was that?
I've heard that Tsuki ga Kirei is really good, so I could see watching all of that, but I don't know for
I feel
sure.
like we won't watch all of it.
No? Do you think we'll watch all of Alice to Zodioku?
No, I don't think so. I feel like we'll like it, but not enough to continue it.
The Digi Boys seem to think that you would help me get through that whole show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Oh, really?
I think they underestimate...
The Digi Boys.
I think they underestimate how much our tastes are exactly the same. Like, I think they think that...
I am actually his clone.
Well, it's just that, like,
canon.
we focus on different things, but ultimately we end up with the same score, I think.
Yeah, usually.
Like, it's rare that we have a significant difference in our overall opinion.
I feel like we won't watch all of Ballroom.
I think we will watch all of Mahojin Guru Guru and Sangatsu no Lion. So
Yeah.
all the checkmark ones we'll save. Let's try to knock out other shit. Yeah, Ballroom I've heard... like kind of goes downhill, but I at least want to check it out.
Yeah.
So, you want to try that one?
Let's do Ballroom.
First? Let's do Ballroom. All right. Well, we were just watching Welcome to the Ballroom. We only made it halfway through the first episode.
Couldn't even finish episode 1.
I think we both liked this a lot less than we expected.
Yeah, I really wanted to like the concept of like a ballroom dancing shonen show. That'd be cool.
I had a lot of realizations watching this episode.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a show that I'm supposed to like or like respect, and nothing about it appealed to me. Like, nothing. Like, it's a production IG shonen adaptation sports show. So it's in the same qualification as Haikyuu, Kuroko no Basuke, these like really highly produced long form shonen things, right? And I didn't like Haikyuu either, but I liked the early episodes. I just didn't like the way the story evolved. But this one, like, it was hyped up because it's got, like, lots of Sakuga animation and shit, and it's like, it's about ballroom dancing, how cool is that? And I realized watching this, I don't give a fuck about ballroom dancing, it's not that cool, and I hate the way this show looks.
This show does nothing to make ballroom dancing cool.
I mean, I'm sure
like, all the shots of them dancing are just the same pose.
Well, we didn't even get to the Sakuga, like...
Is there supposed to be Sakuga in this episode?
There's definitely... Oh, there's gotta be. It's episode 1.
I don't know.
Here, hold on. You wanna watch...
I didn't see any dope dancing.
Well, because he hasn't danced yet. We're, like...
No, he's seeing his, like, idol dancing.
He's gotta dance at the end of the episode. I'm, like, currently flipping through to find...
There was a scene where we were supposed to be drawn in. Like, he was, like, watching...
That was definitely weak. That we didn't get, like, a... Hold on.
Like, we didn't even get to see them dancing in the movie that he was watching that was supposed to get him hype. How are we supposed to be hype?
Yeah. And I mean, I've heard, I watched Pedantic Romantic's video about this show where he was complaining about exactly that like, as the show goes along, they show less and less dancing because obviously they don't have the budget for it. And, like, so often you're just seeing, like, stills and CG animation and, like... everyone's talking about how hype the dancing is, but they're not really getting you hype. But, like, even in this episode, yeah, like what you were saying about the,
Look at those feet.
Gross. We just saw
Look
feet.
at those feet.
Maybe there's not a Sakuga dance scene in this episode.
I didn't think there was any indication that there'd be better dancing.
There's like definitely Sakuga in this show. I've seen a bunch of
Sakuga
GIFs and shit, but, like, and it's production IG. But, yeah, like, when he watches... There's a scene where he watches this tape of all this amazing dancing that, like, makes him realize that, like, everyone who's on the dance floor is drawing attention to themselves. But, like, yeah, it was just a bunch of CG dancers, and it was not hype at all. And I also thought it was just way overdone. Because, like, in these shonen sports shows, there's always, like, something that inspires them. Like, it's a guy who doesn't have any skills, he doesn't have any aspirations, and then he discovers this sport that makes him want to, change himself.
Found his passion.
And in this case, it was the fact that everyone was saying, like, look at me. But, like, first of all, his problem is not that he's, like, shy. He just has nothing going for him. Like, I don't know why this particular thing reached out to him. Like, I also don't see, like, when I watch dancing, I don't hear the sound, like, I don't get the impression that they're all screaming, look at me, you know? I don't know. It felt a little forced, I guess. Like, in Haikyuu, what inspired the kid was that he was really short, and he sees a guy playing who's, like, the master, like, spiker, who's also really short. And he's like, oh, short people can play this sport as long as you got mad ups. Like, that makes sense to me. Just watching a random dance DVD and being like, wow, they all want people to look at them.
It didn't even show them dancing in a way that would communicate them saying that.
I mean, there's like 40 of them on the dance floor. Like, how are they going to draw attention?
They didn't have to show 40 people. They could have just showed, like, a person dancing.
Is this form of competitive dancing even a thing?
We were wondering. Know. They were talking about dance sport as, like, one word. Like, it was, like, an actual competition, and ballroom dancing was, like, a category of dance sport. And I had never heard that terminology.
It could be made up by the show, or it could be real.
It might not be real. I really hope it's real. Because if they made that up, I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, because it has to be a sports show. Like, it's a shonen manga.
Dancing is a sport already. But
I feel like this is what happened when, like, somebody who's really into ballroom dancing, like, wanted to make a sports manga about ballroom dancing and, like, just found a way. But, like, I don't know, it feels wrong to me. Like, ballroom dancing's not a shonen sport. Like, why make a shonen anime about ballroom dance? Ballroom dancing's fucking lame. Like, this show did nothing to convince me otherwise.
It's the lamest form of dancing.
Like, sometimes I watch a show about a sport I don't care about, but the show is hype, and that makes me want to watch it. Like, I don't know anything about basketball, but Kuroko no Basuke was really exciting because it had these weird, crazy characters who I wanted to watch play basketball, you know? And even that might have helped me that I don't know about basketball because the show's, you know, like, totally unrealistic. But then, like, something like Baby Steps, not only are the characters great, but the sport is also interesting. Or Tribe Cool Crew, which was about hip-hop dancing, which actually is cool. And it was really fun to watch them do the hip-hop dancing. But this is just like, do I really even, like, am I gonna be impressed by watching people ballroom dance?
The answer is no.
And the only reason why is because the character designs are, what's the word you used?
Grotesque.
They are, okay, everyone's got really long necks, and it grosses me out. And their backs are constantly arched,
their
like,
necks are
in a
too
semicircle.
detailed. Not only are they really long, like initial D necks, but you can see every,
And
like...
They've got this weird, like, they're all very pointy. Like, they've all got pointed chins. Everything, like, kind of slopes. And then their clothes look like they're being tugged on from the bottom.
It's
like,
really
everyone's
weird.
clothes are, like, pulled down on them. And then when they're dancing, they, like, arc all the way back. And I know, because I know what I thought the first time I saw them. And I know this is what's holding people back from admitting this. Because I think most people would feel this way.
Yeah.
Like, this seems like a natural reaction to this is, they're kind of gross. But what you're going to trick yourself is, oh, but that's what looks good for dancing poses. like, oh, but isn't that what dancing's all about? Is like to make you look more curvy or aerodynamic? No! I don't think that's the case. I don't think ballroom dancing is all about making yourself look like you're a fucking
The worst part is the
semicircle.
poses that the dancers are doing.
They're fucking weird.
It's so...
Because
jarring.
everyone is always in a pose where they're like throwing their back and neck all the way back, like woo woo, and their like angular neck that's like cracking in 3 places, and it looks stupid. Like, I don't think it looks cool. I think it looks really dumb and weird and gross, and like everyone looks. The scene where the guy on the bike gets off the bike, his neck looks like it's taller than his head.
Yeah, because they were looking at it from, like, a downward angle, but it looked like he was, like, a giraffe with, like, his head was in the clouds.
That shit was so fucking... Everyone looks really weird. The way they draw tits is weird.
Oh, they're like, lumpy.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use.
Lumpy boobies, and it's, like...
Well, like, it's almost like they're doing a braless look, because they're all like separated and saggy.
Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be a braless look.
But it doesn't.
But it looks like your grandma's braless.
Yeah,
like they don't understand. Like
it's not like Konosuba.
These are not like Spider-Man like tits.
Yeah.
Like, you know that scene where she's like
fuck.
in the rain and
yes,
she like
I know
that's like the perfect braless image. That's like what I. If you're drawing braless tits, you should make them look like that. She looks like a dancer, too. Like, make them look like that. Don't make it look like your grandma is wearing a girdle. And has a giraffe.
The only credit I'll give them is that the main girl she has a cute face and a huge ass. Yeah. And I was very appreciative because in anime...
She even has my hairstyle.
They rarely give... Yeah.
Look at that shit.
Did you think of yourself because I mentioned a huge ass?
Well, when I saw her, I was like, oh, that booty.
Yeah. Like, it's rare that anime
booty.
gives you the booty.
I don't know if this is necessarily a good booty, though. I was very confused
some of those
because
shots,
she was wearing,
like
really poofy shorts, and she has, like, really narrow legs. But the booty is, like, it's not like a bubble butt. It's like very pear.
Well, that's the Japanese butt. Japanese women have different butts.
I know. So black women have different butts than white women.
Yeah.
Spanish people, like, the butts are different.
Yeah.
But is that a good butt? There's a reason why anime characters
don't have butts.
All
I know is I saw it and I went, all right, I see you. I see that ass.
I appreciate the booty,
I see that ass, but I don't see her tits. They looked okay from the side, but from the front, no. Tits are weird in this show. The necks are gross. Everyone looks gross.
Okay, the one thing that really pissed me off about the posture was there was the one scene where the older dance studio guy was, like, holding up the one guy and telling him how he should change his posture and, like, it'll make him look
Straighten
stronger.
your back.
So they had this, like, dramatic moment where after he had, like, done everything the guy had told him, where he's staring at himself in the mirror, and he looked the same. And it's like, what are we supposed to be looking at?
That's not true, because they deliberately showed him with a slumpy back before. Like, they definitely drew attention to him slouching.
He still looked bad. He didn't look cool like that.
They definitely made a point to show that he was kind of slouching, and then the guy tells him to straighten his back. What cracked me up was that his back is curved inward at, like, a fucking huge angle. Like, that's not straight, you know? Not that straightening your back literally means having it straight, but, like, everyone is so curved and angular, and like again, I don't know if that's what dancing's supposed to make you look like. It's too much. It looks weird and off-putting, and I don't like it. I don't like the character designs, and just the tone of the show. It's just kind of boring.
This is like if you took Yuri on Ice, took away all of the good things about it, took away the gay people, and then just
Yuri on Ice was special because it was like it was not a high school
giraffe
one,
DNA into all of the characters.
This is the most like boilerplate guy gets into sport anime. In terms of the main character, like he's the same as like the main character from Baby Steps, except not interesting. Whereas the character from Baby Steps has like these weird, unique eccentricities. This guy is just nothing. He's a clean slate.
He's just a boring guy.
And so there's immediately no hook because it's like, well, I don't care about this guy, and you just kind of watch him meander around for like 7 minutes before he gets into the dance studio, and then like watching him find like. It just felt random. Like, it didn't feel connected to who he is. Like, dance is not a part... It's not, like, integral to what he was like.
No.
Like, with a lot of like, with, for instance, Achan from Baby Steps, he gets into tennis because he's, like, extremely... he's, like, all about taking notes. And he's all about, like, learning everything in extreme depth. And so the way he learns tennis... is like this extremely mathematically calculated way of playing, which is like a weird way of playing tennis, but it's like unique to him. This character has nothing. He is just a clean slate who's gonna learn to dance, Yeah. And like,
why this guy? Why dancing?
And it also just feels like a moving manga. Like there's no sense of like cool directing or anything. The fact that tape scene wasn't impressive was kind of surprising to me. Like Production IG. Like, if you watch Haikyuu, I could shit on that show's story, but, like, when it comes time for them to do a perfect serve, you get, like, this amazing shot of, like, a character kicking off and running across the fucking room and jumping and spiking the shit out of the ball, and this is, like, he turns on the tape, and it's just, like, a bunch of stills of guys going, I'm a douchebag!
Look at me!
I'm a douchebag! In CG. So yeah, we were not fans of the ballroom show. We're gonna try to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Brains!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Alright, so we just watched like 7 minutes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Brains. Which I would describe as like 4 minutes of incomprehensible madness, followed by immediately becoming the most boring thing in the world. What do you have anything to say about it? I know there's some stuff in there that caught your attention.
Yes. Where do we start, though? Where do we even start? Should we start with how it opened?
It's incomprehensible. It opens in, like, what I assume is a digital world where there's, like, a bunch of digital cyber demons, and, like, it's just a bunch of lights and colors, and none of it meant anything. Yeah. And then one guy's, like, they're trying to close off this world from the outside world, and then, like, a piece of what I assume is data flies into one of the dude's eyes, and he's like, all right, I got the data. Then he immediately gets, like...
Eaten
by,
like, some kind of weird space creature.
Yeah.
It just, like, envelops him, and then his eye comes out.
His eyeball comes out, and we were both, like, freaking out. We were like, what the fuck is this?
Literally screaming at the TV.
This is the fucking weirdest shit, because it didn't make any sense. And then that scene just, like, wraps up, and then it cuts to, like, a bunch of shots of different cities.
Yeah, like, big places, like, prominent places.
And it just shows these places, and then it cuts to, like...
Falls.
It just cuts to a duel happening on top of a building in, like, England. And the eyeball's there. It's like a disembodied eyeball.
It's like chilling out in a gargoyle.
And I don't know if it was like finding powerful trainers or something. That's the impression I was getting.
I don't know.
But then
I couldn't even make an impression.
And one of the trainers is our main character, who's known as Playmaker. And he's got the stupidest hair ever.
It's great. It's
like Yu-Gi-Oh has a long history of stupid hair. But this dude, like, every season they one-up themselves. And I know they're doing it on purpose.
Oh,
like, they are definitely going out of their way to one-up the dumbness of the hair. And then it cuts to, like, in a school, and it's just this dude and this butt-ugly motherfucker.
The monkey boy.
This fucking, this chode of a man, this fucking mongoloid, who's, like, talking to him, and it's just, like, flat shots, like, flat, weirdly wide-angle shots that aren't even on center.
No, that was really bad.
Like, really ugly shots of these two talking in an empty, like,
they
university
hall.
hall.
They were talking about the cloud.
And the dude is literally just exposing, like, just expository dialogue for minutes on end. Like, just explaining the whole everything of how the show works. All in one dump. And it literally went from, like, imagery so bizarre I couldn't understand it. And this amazing opening theme that I do recommend.
Oh, yeah, the OP is, like, dope.
The OP was dope. None of the imagery made any sense. And then we cut from that into, like, the worst, boring exposition dump imaginable. And then, like, we kind of skipped ahead a little to see if it would get interesting again, and it didn't. So we were like, okay, well, like, if it was all like that opening scene, I would be entranced enough to watch it all. But, no, it quickly went... I was like, well, I can't watch a show with any scenes like this in it.
That expo dump was something you would show your friends who didn't understand what an exposition dump was.
Yeah.
It'd be like, oh, I have the perfect examples.
Right.
Sit down, let's watch some brains.
It's like made for an analysis video about how bad
so...
exposition dumps can be done. Yeah, so that's all we watched of Yu-Gi-Oh! Brains.
Brains.
Alright, what are we gonna watch?
This one. Isn't that the one about Italian food?
Piassi?
It's something like that.
I don't even remember this one.
Let's watch it.
Okay. Okay, we just watched all of Piace Watashi no Italian. Ay, with a little bit of ay.
Cultural appropriation, my man.
There's a very important reason that this show was on the light side list and why you were interested in watching it. Would you like to?
It's cute girls and Italian food. Two of the greatest things. Also, I'm Italian and a cute girl, so
Yeah.
I had to watch it.
Yeah, you are literally a half of the Italian, and we live in Rochester, New York,
which is a high
very Italian.
A million bajillion Italian restaurants.
This is a place.
There's 81 pizza joints in my town.
More so than being a lot of Italian restaurants, it's that every restaurant has Italian food.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a local restaurant,
if you go to like a dive, they're gonna have pasta on the menu.
Yeah.
Like today we went out to eat at like some like burger joint, and they have a pasta menu.
Yeah, it's like there's the special Rochester style burgers, and they have a pizza menu, a sub menu, a burger menu, like chicken, and then pasta.
Yeah, you want some ravioli? You want some ravioli with your burger?
Yeah. So hey. So I want to know your opinions on this as an Italian.
As an
Italian American.
The only part that offended me was fucking rigatoni.
Rigatoni. There's a guy who nicknamed himself.
There's a character in his pen name. He's like a food critic. His name is Rigatoni.
Yeah, two words. Rigatoni.
Last name Tony.
I thought that was great. That was my favorite part of the whole show.
It was amazing.
It was rigatoni.
It didn't actually offend me, guys.
Well, the weird thing about this show is it's set in Japan. And it's about this high school girl who finds an Italian restaurant, and she needed part-time work, so she goes to work there. And everyone who works there is just, like, very passionate about Italian food. Mm-hmm. By the way, we never see them just, like, running the restaurant normally.
No.
It's always about either them, like, making or talking about Italian food. Oh, the episode's only 4 minutes long, by the way. So this whole show's, like, an hour long, which is why we were able to watch all of it. But, the only times that we see them like serving food is to this neighboring high-class Japanese restaurant where there's this old man and his granddaughter, and she's a cute little girl. And
yeah, that's the only customer they have except for the main girl's friend.
Yeah, and like there's a sort of a rivalry between them where the granddaughter of the Japanese restaurant is really harsh on Western food, and she only likes Japanese food, and that's sort of the main source of conflict in the show. And like,
what did she say? Italian food is vulgar?
Something like she says all kinds of shit about it, man. She rips on Italian food. And not even for, like, I'll give her that her criticisms are usually valid.
Well, one of the criticisms was, like, everything is olive oil.
Oh, yeah, well, that one was not. That one was invalid. But,
I mean, it is valid. Like, olive oil is, like, a staple in Italian cuisine.
Yeah, but she was, like, generalizing that
Yes.
it's literally everything.
But it is literally everything.
Even the sweets?
I mean, anything that would use oil would be olive oil.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know...
I mean, there's probably some... You can put some olive oil in your cake.
The weirdest thing to me about this show is that it, like, there's all the dishes are, like, real Italian dishes and stuff, but, like, the show is so themed around Italian food, but none of the characters are Italian, but a lot of them have olive skin.
Yeah, there's a lot of blonde characters and a lot of characters with, like, darker skin.
They've gone out of their way to make the skin look like Italian skin, I think. Like, I mean, it's darker than... Definitely a lot of the skin color is darker than usual for anime.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you see that used to just be, like, a Japanese... Southerner, like Brock from Pokemon. Like,
yeah.
He's darker skinned, but he's supposed to be a Japanese guy. But, like, the specific skin tone they use on, like, half the characters in the show is definitely supposed to look Italian.
Yeah.
But they're not Italian. There's, like... Because her best friend is this blonde girl, who, like, the first character you see is, like, this insanely hot blonde girl.
Yeah, she was, like, your character.
Oh,
like,
my God.
I don't think anybody would find her as hot as you. She's cute. Like, some of the outfits she has is really cute, especially in,
she's
like,
got
the beach
amazing
episode.
Tits and great blonde hair and darker skin and, like, I don't know. She's, like, the epitome of, like, what I look for in an anime
I guess
girl.
so.
Like, the first time you see her,
I
she's
thought
just a
Main
little
Girl
cute.
was way
But
cuter.
when she shows up in that fucking top that's, like the
crop top.
Oh, my fucking God. I was, like, done. It's just that they drew her tits, like, perfectly in that shot, you know?
They were pretty nice.
Main girl
Nice.
Main girl is rarely drawn, like, to show her body. There's, like, one scene where she's in a bath, and I was like, oh, she's actually, like, really hot.
I think she looks really cute in her work uniform.
She looks cute.
There's a fine line between
blonde
cute
girl
and
is
hot.
fucking hot. Like,
There's also, like, the adult lady who
who's got
serves
giant
liquor
tits
and stuff.
And I'm not into giant tits, but she's really hot too.
I love the way the uniform looks on her.
I love
she looks
the
really cool.
uniform,
and her eyes
great.
are cool.
She has a great face. Character designs are all around really great in this show.
Oh, yeah.
And a part of it that I appreciate is that it's totally gender even. Like, there's as many female and male characters, and they all get fan service.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it's subtle fan service. There's not a ton. It's not like a fan service show.
There's
but
also
like,
gay and straight fan service.
Yeah, there's definitely
There's, like,
pandering in every direction.
Yeah.
But it's all in the background. None of it's like
none of it's like what
in
the
your
show's
face.
about.
But the character designs are all really attractive, so it works out well when there is.
They all
fan
have like
service.
multiple outfits, and the coolest thing about the character designs is like this weird gradient they have on their hair.
Yeah.
It looks like if you've ever used
The colors are great in this
like
show.
PowerPoint and like the default backgrounds in PowerPoint when they have like the weird gold to brown gradients. It looks like that, and I'm down.
I'm always excited when one of these ultra short shows like has a little bit more like art put into it, like because sometimes they do the super short shows and it's like animated in Flash and like, you know, it's like a Flash puppet cartoon, and then sometimes you get the ones where it's like because it's so short they went like all above and beyond. This one's not quite. It's not as much as like
the
Yamano
animation
Susume.
is nothing amazing, but like just
but the artwork is really
the artwork
nice.
is really cool.
And I love the character designs.
Oh my god, the faces are so adorable. Like the way they drew the eyes.
Yeah,
I
but
was
it's
like, oh.
but the racial thing definitely weirded me out.
It's
that like
weird.
characters have darker skin who work at an Italian restaurant, but none of them are Italian.
It
and then
makes
there's
me wonder how they would draw an Italian character if they would just
Right.
make them look the same as like. The
I have no
Japanese
idea,
characters.
and there's no Italians in the show. And then we get
there
introduced.
might be because I couldn't really keep
Yeah.
all the backstory straight.
Well, I know that the blonde-ish older guy was not Italian because he said he studied in Italy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, most of them have Japanese names.
One of the characters is named Sarah though, and she's
she's
the most Japanese.
That's the
of them
funniest
all.
thing is that they have this little girl who looks like a gorgeous doll, but she has like blonde curly hair, which is usually like stereotypically and a Western look.
Yeah.
But like she's supposed to be the most she's like the granddaughter of the Japanese restaurant.
Elitist girl.
Yeah. Although she does say that she's also really into French cuisine. So maybe she's styled. French? I mean, maybe she just has French hair because that's like a French doll look. Yeah. You know, I don't know. It was fucking weird. But overall, like, this is just all the surface details of the show that we wanted to talk about because, like, the fascination with it was that it was about Italian stuff. What did you think of, like, the actual content of the show?
There wasn't really a lot of deep, like, it wasn't a deep story, but, there were some passionate moments. The characters were cool.
The characters are charming.
They are charming.
I would say that the stories get repetitive quickly.
Yeah, it's kind of like, who cares?
Probably the high point in the narrative is when this little Japanese girl's like talking shit about Italian food and they blow back at her and like there's kind of an emotional moment and then it just kind of repeats that like it's always just the Japanese girl's talking shit. The funniest thing about it to me is that this Japanese girl is like 10. And everyone takes her criticisms completely fucking seriously. Yeah. Like, the first dramatic moment is, like, the main character girl who's in high school, like, gives this whole impassioned, like, lecture to this 10-year-old based on her criticisms of Italian cuisine. And then later there's a part where she's, like, trying to compete with the older guy on, like, who can cook better at a festival. And he, like, blows her out of the water, and everyone's like, yeah, fuck you. And it's like, dude, she's a child, you know? But there is, like, a weird... Children are master chefs in this show.
Yeah.
Like, she... And there's also a kid, a little boy who works at the Italian restaurant who's, like, 10, and he's, like, a master chef. I don't know. A lot of it was, like, kind of strange and weird, but overall it was watchable enough to get through the whole show. If I had watched this by myself, I probably would have dropped it after, like, episode 2. But you seemed really into it, so...
Yeah, I liked it.
What would you score this
Probably a 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
Wow. I'd give it like a light 5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of really interesting things to
5,
talk about in the show. I thought the music was really cool.
The music was great, and I couldn't figure out who made it. That was the biggest thing that carried me through, was like, sometimes I'd be getting bored with an episode, and then like this incredible folk song would kick in, none of which sounds Italian. Maybe a couple songs.
It's like, yeah, it's...
Sometimes they bring out the Venice generic, like the stereotypical Venetian instruments, but like a lot of it's just folk music. Like it just sounds like it could be from anywhere in Europe, but it's all really good.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of folk soundtracks. It reminded me a lot of Spice and Wolf's soundtrack. If you like the soundtrack of that show, I don't know if they're gonna make a soundtrack of this one. I couldn't even find out who made the music, but it sounds a lot like that. Yeah, the music was A+, as were the character designs, but I don't know. I wasn't invested enough in the story or characters to like...
I was really invested just in the fact that it was like about Italian food and like that's something I care about.
This is probably going to be the biggest difference in score we've ever given. And it's just because you're Italian.
I tend to give shorts higher scores because like you're not going to get a full-fledged story out of like a 4-minute episode.
Right.
Like this is like what I'd hope to get from a show like this.
Yeah.
Like I'd learn something about cuisine, have a fun time, laugh.
That's true.
Say, oh shit, that's a cute outfit.
I would say that I got more entertainment out of like meta elements of the show, out of like learning about certain dishes and stuff like that. Which it really pissed me off that Crunchyroll doesn't subtitle the ending theme. And this has pissed me off about a lot of shows because sometimes the OP and ED are like adding important information to a show, important context, like, and they never translate it.
Like, the ending is how many minutes long? It's probably 30 seconds long.
Probably 30 seconds.
That's, like...
a significant portion of the episode. And in this show, it's different every time. Because each ED is teaching you a recipe of, like, the food that they made that episode. So, like, it's the characters, like, rattling off all the ingredients, and then they put it in a pot, and it comes out as the finished product.
Yeah.
And I was like, if this was translated right, I would probably actually try these.
If you're paying money for a service, like, you should be getting the most out of the product.
Come on, Crunchyroll.
Like, that's really cheap.
Yeah.
Because they change the lyrics every single time, and, like, you're missing out on, like, part of the episode because they don't translate the ED.
So, yeah, if you're going to watch this, watch the fan-subbed version. If there is one. I don't even know if any groups covered it.
I mean, you can kind of just guess based on, like, the food that is shown.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
But you don't know the ingredients. I need to
No.
know what they're.
I mean,
I
if they
want to know
show
how
you
to
a
make it.
tomato, it's a tomato.
That's true.
Tomato.
What if it's a special kind? What if it's a hey Roma tomata? All right, I think that's it for this episode of Finish or Fail. I think this is going to be over. Well, I always just try to break half an hour. That's what I consider. To
I
be,
feel like
as long as we break, we definitely broke half an hour. So in the next episode, we'll cover more of these smaller shows. Sorry this was late, by the way. May's been really busy with work and school, and if
anybody wants to dress up as me and move in my house and just go to work in my stead, hit me up.